everyone, today we're going to be making a space skybox. You can use this video to still make a normal skybox, but for today we're going to be making a space skybox using a certain set of tools. I will be showing you how to do it in both Photoshop and using the ATI map CubeMapGen, purely because obviously not everyone's going to have Photoshop, so there is an alternative program out there for making a skybox and being able to import it into the Unreal Engine 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by getting this program called Spacescape. I'll put a link down in the description below, but if you go to this website, grab the latest copy of it, just the top one there, and once you've downloaded that, open it up and you'll have this big sort of black square on the side. That'll be our preview, and down here is the layer system, so you can like add in layers like stars, nebulas, stuff like that. But for now we're just going to get one of the default ones that come with the program, so just select overlapping point stars. So as you can see on the right here, we have our preview. We can look around, looks all very nice and bright, and obviously here, yeah, so you can see how, I mean, mess around with this later on, but for now we're just going to kind of leave everything as is. So we're going to go to File, we're going to export the skybox, save it in a place that you'll be able to find. I'm going to save it in pictures. I've been saving them in a folder called Skybox. For the purposes of this tutorial though, we're just going to create a tut folder, and we're going to name the files tut. Going to save them as PNG files. You can save them as JPEG if you really want to, but I'm going to save them as PNG files. The image size here, obviously you can change. Obviously you've got to remember that the bigger the image size, the more the bigger the file size, sorry. And it will take a while for the Unreal Engine to import it in. So let's just go with 1024. So just click save. It'll export that. Exported. So here I am in my Skybox folder, tut, and there they are, all there ready to go. So now the next thing we want to do is we're going to start with the Photoshop side of things. So we're going to want to go to this web address up here. I'll put a link down in the description again, and there's two sets of tools. So if you're using Photoshop, you'll need the Nvidia Texture Tools plugin for Photoshop. You'll want to install that before running Photoshop as well. So you can click the link here, it will take you to the page, you download it, install it, and then we'll carry on. And then, but if you're not using Photoshop, just for now, just go grab this. It will take you to the AMD page for downloading it. Just kind of go down to the bottom, and it should be there. Grab the installer, not the source, unless you know what you're doing. So if you're not using Photoshop, grab the AMD CubeMapGen. If you are using Photoshop, use the Nvidia Texture Tools. So now we're going to jump into Photoshop, and here is our here's a skybox I was working on recently, but I'll explain why, how it's set up. So basically, normally when you're importing, I'll say this now, when you're importing a skybox using the Nvidia Texture Tools, you'll need to align the images as is this, right? Now with Spacescape, it does this already, so you don't need to rotate it. But if you're not making a space skybox, I'll just put this here as a little bit of information for you. This is the configuration you'll need to rotate your images in Photoshop in order to export it for the Nvidia Texture Tools into Unreal. So now we are going to open up our tutorial skybox images. I'm going to select them all and open, and there they are. Very nice. Right, so now we need to do a bit of calculating. So this was so this is 1024 by 1024. So now we need it so that we can have all 6 images side by side in a row, just like that image I just showed you then. So if I just bring up my calculator, which is always handy to have, so 1024 times 6 equals 614. Yeah, okay. So in width, 6144. And there we go. So now we've got this new texture document. We're going to select each image and we're going to place them in. I usually do this layer upon layer. So we'll start with the right one. So yeah, copy, paste, and then gotta remember my hotkeys for Photoshop. So I'm just going to speed this section up now. Okay, so sorry about that, but it does take a while to align everything. So now we have all of our 6 images in place. We are now going to export them out of Photoshop into a .dds file, which the Unreal Engine will be able to understand is a CubeMap texture for use in a Skybox. So now we go to File, go to Save As. We're going to keep everything in our TUT folder for now. So from the drop down, we go to d3d/dds file format. We are just going to call this, we'll call this the Nvidia, because we're going to be creating one for the ATI one as well. So Nvidia Sky. Okay, so this is going to be the using the Nvidia plugin. Right, now when you're using this plugin, you have to have it so that it's set to export it as 8.8.8.8 ARGB 32BPP unsigned from this drop down. So it'll be just here with the you're going to set it as a cube map texture and no MIP maps, and then you're going to hit save, and that will generate this lovely .dds file in our folder. And as you can see, it's 24 megabytes with all 6 images in there. So you know, if you're gonna be making something that's a lot larger, I mean, I made one the other day. It was about it's about 350 megabytes, and it does take a while to import. So just be wary on file size if you're going to be, I don't know, shipping a map out with that sort of file size in it, unless it's compressed. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so that's the Photoshop exporting of a cube map. So now we're going to go to the ATI side of things. Once you've installed it, it should be in a little folder called ATI Research, CubeMap Generator 1.1, and then run that. So now we have this lovely little circle. The way I've worked out how to use this program is if you hit up here, you have all the faces of your cube map. You can actually select them using from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on your keypad. So I find going so I hit 1 and then hit F, and it loads up where the images are. So we're going to go back into TUT, and we're going to find image 1, which is right. Double click that, then we hit 2, and then we hit F again, and then we can load up image 2, and we just keep doing this for each image. This is a lot simpler, I must admit, than the way of doing it in Photoshop, but the one in Photoshop does actually allow for bigger file sizes, I've learned. So down here, we want what was it again? Oh, that was it. Right, so save cube map. Sorry, so we now see that the cube maps all together in on this lovely little circle. can't zoom in. So we go up here, go save cube map, and we're going to call this ATI Sky. And this is the DDS file for the ATI. Yes. If that comes up, just click yes. Should be fine. I haven't found any issues with clicking yes. So this will take a minute or two to give us what we want. So, oh, there we go. Right, so now that that's done, so that's the ATI CubeMap generator. It is a lot easier to use. It just seems to work. So, so if I open up the Unreal Engine here, go to our textures, and we'll hit import, and we will go to where our Skybox images are tucked. Right, so we have the ATI Sky here and the Nvidia Sky. I think the ATI Sky will probably be, no, they are exactly the same file size, so we're just going to open up Nvidia Sky and we're going to just let it load in. I will pause the video now and come back when it's loaded. Okay, so that's now been brought in. Let's just load up. Oh. Okay, so as you can see, this is all the images brought in as one. If I just get this image up here, so this, if you remember before with the sorry, trying to bring these over. So remember this image before, so they're all like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the images next to each other. This combined, this is how the plugin has now created them. So there's 1, 2, 3 on each side, 4, 5, 6. That's why it's important that when you're making your own images that they're rotated properly, so that it's seamless. So this, yeah, so now we've got an imported texture, and the ATI Sky would be exactly the same. So this process doesn't matter whether you're using the Nvidia plugin or the ATI plugin. This next process will be exactly the same. So now we're going to create the actual Skybox texture. So just create a new texture, or new material, sorry. Been using Source Engine way too long now. I'm just going to call it M stars. Double click that, open it up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our texture, drag it in. No, we're not, sorry. No, we're going to get a if we go to the search box here, texture sample parameter cube, and we're just going to call this the cube map. There we go. Right, so now that that's in, and we want to, so that's got the Nvidia Sky attached to that, to the cube. We're gonna bring that out of that a multiply, and from the multiply we're gonna put it into the emissive color. From here, from the B, we're gonna put a constant, and we're gonna set that at a value of 10, and then we want, out of the UVs, or just call it UVs, a reflection vector, and then out of that we just want to put a constant free vector, and we'll just leave that at the default. And there you go. If you look around, you can see it all lovely and glowing and shining and looking really nice and beautiful. Now the material itself, the material itself, you want to set it so the default the lighting model is unlit, and you want it to be two-sided. That way, when it's placed inside a SkyDome, it's not affected by the lighting of the sun, and it also, the material shows up inside the model. So you'll be able to look around. So if we hit apply,
Avast virus database has been updated.
Thank you, Avast, for interrupting me there. And we're just going to close that for now. So if we go to our materials, there it is, M stars. And then what we want to do is we want to create a SkyDome. Let's create a blueprint. So I've already made one here, a Skybox, but we'll just create a new one. So we want to create an actor. An actor? Yeah, we want to create an actor. We're just going to call this tut sky, bp_tut sky. Going to open up the blueprint. In the components, we're going to add a SkyDome component, which is going to be a static mesh. So just call this, just call it SkyDome. And the static mesh, we're going to bring up. It's called Sky Sphere. Now, if you can't see this, if you go down to your view options and check show engine content, it will come up then. So we're just going to click that, and that will give us the, oh no, we don't, do we want that one? I think it might be the other one actually. That one? Yeah. No. Either one will do. Either one will do. So that's all there, that's all sorted. We also want to give it a scale of I don't know, about 500. And down here in collision, we want to uncheck generate override, and the collision preset we want to set to no collision. And down in rendering, is it rendering? No, it's lighting. Sorry, down in lighting, we want to uncheck cast shadows. And now, if we go over to the graph, you'll see here there's the SkyDome static mesh variable. We want to create a new variable. Just set it as a material. Yeah, set it as a material. Just by clicking this, searching up here, material. Right. Set it as a material. The variable name, just call it sky material. Just follow the sort of same thing as the SkyDome. We want to make sure that it's public. So now if we drag SkyDome to here, click get the sky material over here, click get. So those two variables now are already waiting to go. Oh no, this is in the event graph. Whoops, sorry guys, hang on. Wrong. In the construction script, so we want to be. So SkyDome, get, sky material, get. Right, now we want to search, right click anywhere and click set material, set sky material. No, because it's not the red one. Hang on. Material. It doesn't seem to be. Hang on. Context sensitive. Set material. There we go. just uncheck context sensitive and get set material if it doesn't appear. It will come up with this. And then what we want to do is connect the construction script to here. The SkyDome we want to set as the target, and then the sky material we want to set as the material there. Okay, and then just hit compile, and that's all ready to go. So let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Oh, we'll make a new level. Just create an empty level. Don't save. Right. So now if we drag the Tuts guy into here, and you'll notice now that it will ask what the sky material is. Find your sky material, which is the M stars, and there you go. It's very, very, very low resolution, but there you go. You now have a skybox, a star skybox inside the Unreal Engine.